As we know, the Republicans announced to the White House the list of demands they would support to assist Kyiv. Of course, this is a matter of political bargaining because they insisted on the migration policy and they wanted to link it to the aid to Ukraine, yes, in one package. Or maybe the Republicans not sufficiently informed about how important it is to help Ukraine now. And my question is, where did the real Republican hoax go? By the way, here with us in the studio, the American political scientist, Mr. Smart. So please, if you don't mind, if you'd like, you can add and also give me and our audience answer to this question. Where did Republican hoax go?
So the Republican Party has had a shift. Historically, the party of Ronald Reagan was very aggressive to defend American values. When I say American values, it's really just human values. That is the support for freedom, the support for democracy, and to work with countries that also embrace these values. So it is quite shocking today that there is something such as the situation in Ukraine, where Russia, a totalitarian state, has attacked a democratic state, an ally of the United States, and that the United States has not done more, largely because of the Republicans. You would have expected that to have never been that way. Reagan would have never allowed that. So what happened? I would argue that it mostly comes down to the past decade and a half, but most acutely, Donald Trump's rise to power has changed the party. The political party that it was before is no longer there. The party has become very populistic. The party has become totally focused on what is occurring domestically in the United States, much more focused on social issues, and much more focused on things that are, I would argue, of less significance to global events. And this sort of isolationism that they bring with them, with the Make America Great Again, this is something that we see playing out currently in what the Republicans are doing or failing to do in U.S. Congress to support Ukraine.
Yeah, reappointment, you are right. So everyone, by the way, everyone predict what will happen with American aid if Trump, for example, Trump will become the next president or any Republicans. But there are no forecasts. If a Democrat will remain the president, why? Why these discussions never raised? So first, please, Mr. Smart.
Well, Joe Biden's the candidate for the Democrats, so I don't think it'll change if he's elected. It'll probably be the same as it is now. Now, it is possible that he chooses someone else, which is what I think you're referring to, right before the elections. He's going to go through the primaries. He will win them. But there is a chance that he could choose somebody else to be the candidate for the Democratic Party. He could say it's because of his age.
Who it can be, could be.
Gavin Newsom from California, somebody who they talk about a lot. But there's several different options. But the fact is, it would probably be somebody that's younger generation for sure than Biden is. Maybe somebody that's probably further to the left than Biden is in order to appease their base, which is sort of fractured at this point. But overall, I think that there is a very good chance that whoever were to come to power would still be very supportive of Ukraine.
I'd like to ask Mr. Smart, who else but Nikki Haley can compete with Trump?
I mean, I like Nikki Haley very much. I think she's a great candidate, and she's absolutely right in her views about Russia. Actually, in foreign policy as a whole, I think she's right on a lot of issues. And she's very smart, she's very well qualified, and she's a great candidate. That being said, I think she does face a very uphill battle. In the polling, she has about 10% support, 11% support, whereas Donald Trump has 61% support. When you're losing by 50 points in an election, it's not even close. Keep in mind, the primaries begin on January 15th. Yeah, we're only about a month away. So when you're, I guess, 5 weeks. So if you're 5 weeks away, and we have Christmas coming and New Year's coming where nothing is happening, so there's really less than 5 weeks. There's perhaps 3 weeks left to really try to make an impact with Americans. She's going to have a very hard time to gain 50 points in the course of 3 weeks.
Yeah. So, and my last question, gentlemen, for both of you. In general, next year will be a record year for elections in the world history. About half of the Earth's population will vote. Beside the United States, which election should be closely followed? What do you think, Mr. Smart?
Which election? Well, you know, I would say
Russia.
the Russian
course.
elections. Well, yeah, that's probably going to be the
Obvious.
most humorous one to watch because it's so obvious what's going to happen. Russia doesn't have elections.
Yeah.
But more to that point, I think what's
I
going
think
to...
this is the USA. The USA, all the world will be with heart beating, will be looked at all these processes.
Well, not because I'm an American, but certainly the American election is the most important because there is no other single country that has as much influence. And it's not just the president's election. 2024 is important because, yes, the president will be elected, but you also have a third of the senators will be up for election, as well as all the congressmen will be up for election. So this is going to be a significant election. So if the House of Representatives changes hands, becomes Democrat, or if the Senate, just a few seats change, or you know the president becomes Donald Trump, the dynamics of the entire world politic could definitely change. So yes, I would actually say the American elections are by far the most important.